Hello, greetings. This is going to be a reading for the collective. Yep, kind of a bit impromptu. We've got a few decks here. We have the Starseed Oracle, Ascended Masters, and we have Past Life deck as well. We're also going to look at the Tarot. So yeah, there'll just be cards flying everywhere, and we're just going to grab some decks, grab some energies, mesh it up, see what's happening. Okay, so collective. This is a past life energy, first of all. We're going to quickly grab the oracle energies. Isn't this interesting? Wars and battles. Okay, because, yeah, that's kind of appropriate, I think, at the moment, because, there's some of this stuff going on the planet, and we're also going through the inner process, the inner struggles, if you will, the inner goings on, the reshufflings and the arrangings, the integration that's sort of happening as we move up into these higher frequencies. We are sorting through our subconscious stuff. We're clearing a lot of things, we're doing this inner, so that our higher selves may prevail, okay, basically. Let's grab a beautiful Ascended Master energy now as well. So we'll see what happens. Right. Thoth. This is going to be really strange to say, but I haven't used this deck for a while, and I kind of forgot that Thoth was in there. Sorry, Thoth. But, this is awesome. Writing is, of course, a way to communicate, but it's also a really awesome way to process the inner discussions, the inner voices, the things we say to ourselves, the ideas we have about ourselves, and the inclinations and the insights that we have as well, where we go, oh, now I understand why I've been doing that for however many 20, 30 years, okay, as things drop in. So maybe doing some journaling could be a really great way to process, because as we create and get things out on the page, it helps to externalize it and to release it from within, getting it out, okay, so that it can be unpacked and processed and brought more into conscious awareness, okay. If you do some meditation and then write about your insights and your meditation, going to a meditative state, that's a little bit like working with the subconscious as well. So this could be really helpful. And, it can definitely help with this inner battle. So really kind of getting clear on, I guess, in some ways, if you feel like there's a inner struggle or a battle going on within you, the writing process could help you to actually identify what that is, what's battling what, and is your higher self involved? Is your ego involved? Is it perhaps your conditioning that's sort of raising up some stuff for you where you're going, I don't really like this thing that I've been conditioned into, yada, yada, all that sort of stuff. And, working out a process. But, we're also going to be looking at this. So the interesting thing is that writing can be a very conscious process, so a very logical process, okay? But if you are doing automatic writing, so from meditative state, it's the subconscious is playing a greater part, okay, within that process as well. So it means taking some time out for yourself, and really, spending some time doing some writing, meditating, doing some deep breathing, and then going straight from your meditation straight into writing. And you can go in with an intent too. It might be like, I feel like there's an inner struggle I'd like to work out, to get clear on what that is. And here we have double mission. Wow, this is freaking on point as well. Lightworker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. Now, I've been feeling this lately, as many of you probably are, and that we feel like we, on the one hand, we have been put on this earth to help the planet, to help others, to help this whole process, okay? Whatever it is that's going on outside of us to assist. But we've also been put here to, that healing process, to apply that to ourselves and to come into a greater understanding of our very own higher self and our essence, okay, our true soul self. So this is kind of like the double mission, I think. And maybe this is why there's, there are battles and wars going on, because internally for us, because many of us are, feeling exhausted, and maybe we don't feel like we have the energy to help others, but yet it's sort of like we feel like we need to do that because it's our higher self. But then there's also another part it's interesting, isn't it? Because we're conditioned, we're more likely to be conditioned to not go within and support our inner being. We've been more conditioned to do the outer thing, okay, the external world. So it's interesting because it's like, well, we can be really exhausted trying to meet that, but ignoring, but still trying to do that because we're conditioned to do that sort of thing out in the world, right? But there's also a part of us in this double mission is like we've been asked to kind of come in as well. So this could be a type of battle, or one example of an inner battle that's going on, because it's like the subconscious, if it's being conditioned to do the external, it's going to be resistant to moving inward, okay? Whereas the higher self is there saying, encouraging this movement inward. Listen to yourself, look after yourself, listen to your body, look after your body, go with your feelings, not your logic so much, all this sort of stuff is very counter to what we've probably been conditioned to, right? So this is, okay, let's start the tarot now. Oh my God. I knew things would be flying around. Okay, because I was going to do my readings earlier today, and it was like the sun was so awesome out there calling me, and I had a bit of an inner battle to decide, I was going to go out in the sun. Right, so that's what I did. And I'm kind of glad I did, but it means that I'm not doing as many readings today, but we are doing the collective reading, which is going to be awesome anywho. Right. Here we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. Boom. King and Queen of Wands, divine counterparts, passion, fire, but also this transformative, transmutive energy of being able to be in, like, work with the dark or understand the dark aspects or the unhelpful aspects, for example, some aspects of our conditioning, and being able to transmute them, apply the passion, and to be able to shift that energy. So facing these inner battles, okay, this is what we're doing, collective. Your divine masculine and your divine feminine are, I'm not trying to say we're going to war, right? It's just that there's an acknowledgement here. Spirit is acknowledging the work and the effort that we are putting in, and we are being asked to rise, okay? This is, I actually got chills at the moment. It's kind of like we are also being asked to honour the fact that we are here and that we are still doing this stuff. I was going to say this shit, but it's not all shit, is it? Okay. Right, here we go. Five of Wands, yeah, there is that going on. There is this struggle, this is that war, that war energy, okay? It can be, but it can also be learning, fine-tuning, and even taking stuff from the dark and going, yeah, you know what? I can face that, I understand that, and because I've been through that, it's like it's made you stronger, okay, collective? But here we have the Three of Cups. Isn't this interesting? This is our current energy. It's literally like, a bit of a struggle one day and then fucking awesome the next. Okay, and this is how it's going to be, I think, for a little while. Excuse the swearing, but it's a little bit like that today. Okay, yep, this is the kind of an underlying thing. We have two sword cards here. They're both courts. Okay, they're both court cards. Page and the King of Swords. Interesting thing is that one's facing forward and one's facing backwards. Okay, so we are literally looking at our past conditioning, and we're also looking to the future, and we are trying to apply our logical minds and going, Okay, based on what went on before, then you know what's going to happen next. And it's a little bit like these are almost looking at two different, completely different perspectives, two different worlds. Okay, what went on in the past? Okay, look, they've got their backs to each other. This is incredible. And he's like looking forward. Well, actually, the way I turn it, it's looking backwards, so I'm not quite sure if that's... we've got the page looking forwards, the way I'm looking at it, so hopefully that's the same for you guys. Looking backwards. And isn't this interesting, is that the king is older, okay, so a bit more set in the ways, a bit more kind of the traditional, whereas here we have the page, the newness, the inner child, the curiosity, the, you know, so these are the two energies that we are in the middle of, and it's feeling like it's a bit of a battle at the moment. Okay, it could be feeling like a battle. Let's get the general direction moving forward. I really love this for us. It's more fire. So we're transmuting. And we have the Three of Wands to match the Three of Cups. So this means that we are ready to do this double mission thing. We are literally stepping into. 3 is like ready to action, ready to move on something. It's not sitting back and, you know, being undecided, like, am I going to do this? Or I know there's a general kind of thing that I kind of feel I want to do, but this is more specific. We kind of know a bit more specifically now what we're here for, because of this double mission here. You know, many of us know that we are light workers and star seeds, so we're here to tune in to support ourselves, and we're also here to support others, okay, in a new way. And with this Page of Wands here, this is once again that fearless, courageous energy, just like getting this fire, transmutation, basically changing state, being able to change our state of consciousness. And by activating our creativity, we're also changing the frequency. We're going to be, I think creativity is going to be a big thing. It always has been, but it's going to be even bigger now. So we're going to be asked, I think, part of our mission is to be more creative, to really get our creative juices, our creative fuel, whatever that is, really identifying that. And this is going to be the general direction moving forward, is for us to be creative and find that inner child aspect as well, that sort of really is whatever is really inspires us, okay? That's the general direction moving forward. Okay, well, the Emperor wants to come out, the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Yeah. So the outcome is Emperor. Now, this is structure, but isn't it nice? We've got the Queen of Wands here. She is very creative, very passionate. So we're going to be creating a whole new structure based on, you know, what our passions are. It's not just going to be, oh, this structure that's always, we're going to be doing things the way they've always been done, and we have to basically sacrifice our souls or a large part of the things that we enjoy in order to create structure and make things work around the place. No. This is going to be complemented now, more so, by this Queen of Wands energy. Once again, creativity, fearlessness, courage, and a lot of perhaps new businesses, new initiatives, new projects are going to start up. Okay, could be the outcome. And that's a lot of fire. I mean, the Emperor is fire too, right? That's Aries. Queen of Wands, that I think that's Leo, yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of fire right across the reading here, very transformative. And what we may not be aware of is that by applying all this fire and really working on this idea that we do have a double mission here, and is doing our best, the best that we can to create a balance with that double mission, is that we are going to start to perceive ourselves more accurately instead of perceiving ourselves as being bound and restricted. We're going to be sort of releasing that, and this is, you know, the Five of Swords reversed, basically. It's like you know, there's no confusion, no doubt, and the battles will begin to cease. They'll begin to dissipate and dissolve as we identify by going within, but still by functioning in the world, but probably spending time in one energy and then spending time in the other. So be able to create an equal balance of time in those different energies, energy with self and energy out in the world, okay? That we are going to be able to get this balance right. Get this balance right. As I said that. Yeah, okay, play on words, right? And maybe words, what the words we think, the words we hear, the words we are even watching on a screen. Okay, you know, you can watch words, but you're hearing them and you're watching what people do. The words we feel, okay, and how we use words, I think, is going to be crucially important. You know, the word is very powerful, folks. I think that's why Thoth is there with that, you know, the right, because we're writing letters, we're writing words, or we're writing symbols, or we're writing, you know, we're authoring our own lives, okay? We are the authors of our own lives. And I've just also acquired this beautiful Galactic Star Tarot, so we're going to grab some guidance from here. So we could call this, you know, guidance from the collectives. Ten of Swords, and I've even forgotten the collectives that these represent. But this is saying, yes, it may feel like a battle, but it is going to come to an end. The battles, the inner struggle will, you know, dissolve. And, you know, there will be options and things that we will need to work through. But there's more options available to us than we realise, possibly. And one of them is this idea of, you know, we do have an option to set ourselves free. It is kind of about perception. It's how we perceive things. And here we have the Seven of Swords, which is interesting. The cow and the swords are being beeped up. So this could be talking about, you know, there's a lifting, there's a raising of frequency here, but there's also the number 7, which is a very introspective number. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking at 7 is also very spiritual. So this could be kind of alluding to that if you want to do some automatic writing, it could be that even through doing that or learning how to do that, moving into that energy, practicing it and becoming over time, you know, getting good at it, that it's going to really help you to perhaps even tune into your galactic connections as well. And it can also help you to lift your frequency. There may be some things that you need to release in this writing, journaling process, but I feel like there's a bit of a call, there's kind of a call here for us to do some journaling collective, okay? As also is kind of echoed with this sword energy here, okay? This is about communicating, but sometimes it's not about communicating things to other people. If we're doing inner stuff, it's about communicating stuff to ourselves. So it's about setting up communication between our subconscious and our conscious minds. Okay, so this could be what we are doing as well. And here we go, the world. Awesome. New balance of really feeling that we are at the center of, you know, handling our missions, right? Handling these battles, being able to navigate them, and also having this idea of freedom. Remember, we said we are going to be, you know, we may not realize it, but we will set ourselves free here. Okay. It may not feel like it at times at the moment, but, and here we have the Ten of Swords again. Yeah. So this is, you know, something that is, there's a new horizon that is going to be opening up for us. Okay. Collective. And maybe it is going to be July. Okay. This is the reading we're doing in July. So maybe towards the end of July, it's going to feel like things will be lifting up. Page of Swords. We've got Page of Swords twice. So curiosity, Earth of air. So this idea of being grounded, but also moving into higher consciousness. Okay. The pages are Earth as well. And she is reading, but she could, you know, quite easily be writing, getting curious about your own subconscious, your own, curious about your conditioning, getting curious about how you think about things, maybe the patterns that you've adopted, the helpful ones and the unhelpful ones, and kind of really, yeah, I guess investigating that. The Hanged Man. Yeah, and this is, you know, that pause, getting, I guess tuning into mind, body, spirit. And I kind of like how this is, you know, like an alien hanged man here. It's really that when you think about it, we are as alien as the aliens, okay? Because the, you know, ETs, aliens, whatever you call them, higher energy beings, light beings, star beings, we look upon them as being like alien, but they look upon us as being alien. But there's actually a central core, you know, like we share DNA, you know, we've been cut from the same cloth, metaphorically, being light, source, light being. So we are all, you know, we're all from source. Okay. So, yeah, and just to kind of keep that in mind, is that we could be feeling as though we're literally hanging between two worlds at the moment. Okay. Maybe we feel a bit suspended. But I think this process of, and we can still feel like there's inner battles, even though, and there's external battles. But I think it is going to be, given these energies here, there's, you know, Ten of Swords twice. It's like this, something is wrapping up, and it's a lot of this sword energy, a lot of these battles, you know, a lot of the wars were fought, you know, with swords traditionally on Earth. So there's a lot of battle stuff that was been going on, and it's going to be wrapping up. So that is encouraging for us. And I really love this. Like, this could be, you know, like the new world here, new world energy. So I think we might wrap it up there. I hope that's been helpful. But yeah, a lot of fire across this reading. I think we're going to go through a big transformation, maybe in July. Very transformative energy. And the interesting thing too is that I think at the moment the moon is moving out of Pisces and into Aries. So we're going from this inner into the outer kind of expressive energy. But it's going to be these two inner and outer energies that we are going to need to navigate more and find balance with, I think, even from this reading. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. Look forward to your next reading. Look forward to the next collective reading. In the meantime, have a great day, fantastic week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.